Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast update for the Northeast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, we're going to end up with a very pleasant weekend across the Northeast. We've got a little upper level disturbance making its way out of the region right now, some cloud cover across parts of the Northeast, some light precipitation departing across parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine as we get started on Friday morning, but that'll be quickly making its way out across the Atlantic, leading us into a dry and mild weekend and a dry and mild start to the next week. Temperatures off to a mild start already here across parts of the Northeast, 50s for a lot of folks. So you look at the last 7 days of precipitation, really the Northwest and the Northeast are the only areas that have been seeing precipitation over the last week, and a lot of this was over the end of last week into the weekend. As we look at the next 7 days, we do have the opportunity for some precipitation across parts of New England, but a lot of this is backloaded toward the mid and late part of the coming week. We're really going to be off to a pretty dry start to the next 7 days. As we look at the hazards map across the Northeast, nothing going on. We've got a red flag warning across parts of the Central Plains getting into the Rockies. Winter storm watches in effect across parts of Idaho and Montana. And then the latest from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Depression Eta, expected to re-intensify to Tropical Storm Eta as we head through the weekend, making its way through Cuba, up toward the southern peninsula or the southern portion of the Florida Peninsula, as we get into Sunday night and Monday morning, bringing some rain and thunderstorm activity to that region. Eta will then meander back across the Gulf of Mexico, heading into midweek before eventually being pulled across the southeast into the mid-Atlantic as we head into the end of next week by a deepening trough across the western portion of the country. Now, here's the jet stream as we get started on Friday morning. Again, here's the trough that's going to be working its way in across the western part of the country as we head through the weekend in several stages. We'll get going here as we head through Friday into Saturday. Here comes the first piece coming across the Central Plains now, quickly lifting into southern Manitoba as we get into Sunday night and Monday. And so the first wave of precipitation is going to be concentrated here across parts of the northern Rockies, Montana, into the Canadian Prairie as we go through the weekend. The next piece of this trough comes around the base and ejects across the Midwest as we get into Monday and Tuesday, bringing a swath of snow to parts of Nebraska through Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, the chance for some strong storms to parts of Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois, and then this one quickly lifts off to the northeast across the Great Lakes. We then see a third piece of this trough come around the base as we get into Friday across the southern plains. This one quickly lifts to the northeast as well across the Great Lakes, and then a fourth piece comes around the base in parts of the southern plains across West Texas. As we get into Friday into next weekend, this one also would lift off to the northeast. So what this does with precipitation, with each of these little waves lifting instead of ejecting from west to east, they take their precipitation off to the northeast, and that keeps it west of us in the northeast, and that's what helps keep us dry as we get through the weekend into early next week. So I'll go back here. This is quickly. I've already done Friday into Saturday into Sunday. High pressure keeping us dry across the northeast. We're seeing this first piece of energy, this first upper level disturbance lift off to the northeast. Heavy snow from Montana into the Canadian Prairie. Then as we get into Monday and Tuesday, we see the next area of low pressure develop across the central U.S. with rain along the front from the UP of Michigan, the Great Lakes, down into Nebraska, south to the southern plains. This is where we could see the chance for a couple of strong storms across the Midwest. We'll see another swath of snow on the cold side of this system as it quickly, again, lifts to the northeast instead of just moving from west to east. That keeps us dry then in the northeast through Tuesday. It's as we get into Tuesday night and Wednesday, we'll start to see the cold front from this trough beginning to make its way into the northeast. We're going to see plenty of moisture out ahead of this front. So showers and thunderstorms then begin on Wednesday across the northeast. And now we've got Eta still meandering across the Gulf that'll eventually be picked up. Remember, there's this next wave that comes in across the southern U.S. as we get into Friday. So that helps take Eta and then eventually bring it north into the Gulf. Take some of the drawings off here and just dumping more rain then across parts of the mid-Atlantic into New England. And then that next wave that came around the base of that trough also brings some more precipitation into New England. The fourth one that's coming around the base of that trough will bring more precipitation into New England as we get to the other side of next week into, or next weekend into the following week. So we have time to sort out the details on everything that I just threw at you. I know that was a lot. Here comes the first piece. Here comes Eta. Here comes the third and fourth. We'll hammer out the details here. The point is, we're dry. We're mild for the next 5 to 6 days across the Northeast. It's as we get to the other side of Wednesday that things are really going to begin to change. So total precipitation between now and Sunday at 7 p.m. Dry across much of the central southern U.S. all the way into New England. As we then get into the back half of next week, Wednesday through Friday, that's when we dump 1 inch to 2 inches of rainfall across parts of Pennsylvania, New York, eastward to the mid-Atlantic, and then south into the Gulf Coast. So we'll have time to talk about the details with all of that. Of course, anything we can dump on the Northeast before we freeze the soil and head into winter, that's going to be good news to try and mitigate some of the severe drought still lingering across the region. Looking at those temperatures, as I just put it in motion, you're going to see a lot of warmth across New England. We will keep that warm bias likely through the next 7 to 10 days. Even as these little cold fronts try to make their way in, mild weather is going to prevail in the end, at least over the next 1 to 2 weeks across the Northeast. We're looking at now the probability of picking up 1 inch or more of rainfall between now and Friday. And again, understanding between now and Tuesday, we're talking about nothing. This all arrives Wednesday through Friday. The highest probability of picking up a soaking rain is going to be kind of southern New York over to Massachusetts, south from there into the southeast. We'll finish with your high temperatures over the next few days, 60s and 70s for just about everyone today, tomorrow into Sunday, keeping the warmth going into Monday and Tuesday. A lot of folks feeling the 70s as we get into Tuesday. Have a great Friday, a wonderful weekend. We'll be back to talk to you on Monday, splitting out the details on how this soaking rain is going to arrive over the back half of next week.